Hey there, Jenna here. Welcome to my channel where I take you on tours of unique homes and showcase stories of people living alternatively. In today's episode, we're visiting Brittainy and Ryan, who have been comfortably living on the water for 7 years. They'll take us through their home, explain how they get the most out of such a small space while sharing it with 2 large dogs, and discuss how this lifestyle has brought about unique travel opportunities unlike any other. But before we get started with a tour of this incredible boat home, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know every single time we publish a new episode.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Brittainy, and this is our boat, Codspeed. Ryan and I met about a year before we moved onto the boat. I remember him talking about wanting to live on a boat, and I thought that was crazy. Once I started kind of seeing the boats and what his vision was for living on a boat, I was like, okay, I could live on this.
This one was far above and beyond what I had seen so far and within my budget, so quickly jumped on it. We've been living on the boat nearly 7 years now.
We pay a monthly mortgage here, and then utilities.
And Salon Bay Marina is actually the largest liveaboard community on the West Coast.
It gives us that opportunity to technically have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, waterfront home in Seattle.
There's a lot of maintenance when it comes to owning a boat, especially if you're living on it, like diving the boat and scrubbing the hull. I think that's made living on this boat a lot more affordable by doing a lot of the work ourselves. I think this home's changed our lifestyle by making us get out and about. There's a lot of carting of all of our goods. There's a lot of walks to take the dogs out and get them exercise.
But it's also provided the opportunity for us to go see so much of the state that's only accessible by boat, and we don't have to pack. We just take our home with us.
Yeah, and Washington State actually has a marine state park system, which is quite a gem. We buy a park pass each year and take advantage of visiting all of these unique islands that are uninhabited. It's really been a lot of fun for us and the dogs. It's really been kind of a magical place to be, so it would be tough to be a landlubber full-time once again.
It's been great.
We're on the outside of Codspeed. She's a 1985 Ocean Alexander flush aft deck trawler designed to be a liveaboard. She's a 43-foot boat, 48 feet overall with a dinghy on the back. We're connected to shore power here at Salon Bay Marina. The shore power box is over here to the port side of the bow. We also have water. We have 250-gallon water storage tank, so when we're going off on trips, we have plenty of fresh water to drink from, to wash dishes, to bathe, and so forth. We also have a waste tank on here. It's a 40-gallon waste tank. The convenience of living on the pump out dock here is that we can do that ourselves, typically on a weekly basis, and probably save ourselves $120 a month or so. To ensure safe access to a boat that's so high above the water line, we built these steps, kind of straddles the bull rail here that we tie up to. Brittainy's kept this as kind of her little garden area with edible flowers to kind of brighten it up a bit. Let's go around to the aft deck here. So when we're on the hook or on mooring buoys, we'll use the dinghy to reach the shore. We have to do this particularly because we have 2 dogs aboard with us. So we get them to shore to get them some exercise, take them out to go to the bathroom, go swimming. But the dogs definitely enjoy cruising around in the dinghy, feeling the air across their ears, and brings them big smiles for sure. So this is our fitting for filling the water. So we do have to run a hose the full length of the boat to fill this up. We will filter it with one of these RV filters at the end of the hose. Some natural daylight going down to the aft deck. We try to keep this fairly open most of the year to allow in as much daylight as possible, especially in Seattle's gloomy winters. That was definitely part of the consideration of getting a boat like this that was high above the water line, lots of glazing to allow in daylight, natural views, especially since we're here at the end of the dock. Have quite a view of a lot of sea life playing. We've had up to 40 sea lions out on the dock here before. We have seals popping their heads up saying hi to our dogs, and our dogs barking back at them. We just saw a seagull here grab something out of the water, lots of kingfishers, blue herons, which also means that I have to keep the hose out quite often after they target my boat, especially for some reason every time I end up washing it. But yeah, this is a super nice space, definitely gets a lot more use in Seattle summertime than the winter. So we'll head up to the Flybridge here, up a few steps, the upper helm. Due to the exceptional visibility up here, I often drive the boat from the upper helm. There is a lower helm as well, but much more visibility. It also functions as a nice covered storage, especially during the rainy time of the year. But this is really the hangout area when we're underway. It can fit about 2 people per bench, and then I sit at the captain's chair, often with Zoe behind me. She loves the vantage from up here as well, and loves especially me there next to her to keep her warm during the winter cruising season. So if we walk along the side deck here on the starboard side, we'll come to our door to enter the Salon. This is the only door to enter from the dock, so we do often request a starboard tie when we're out at marinas to make it easy to walk in and out of the boat fairly quickly, but feel free to come in. This is a lower helm. We don't often drive from down here. We typically dock from the upper helm, but it's nice to have 2 different helms, have some binoculars here. Brittany has a few of her cookbooks and the dog treats that, especially this jar, gets their attention. Yeah, like it just did here. There you go. Good dogs.
People always say, you know, they can't believe we live on a boat and we have 2 large dogs, but I always say it's the best way to utilize the space because we wouldn't want any other way. It does have its challenges, you know, taking them out to go potty. We can't just open up the back door and let them go. We do walk them all the way down the dock. We take them to the dog park all the time. They, you know, go to work with me. So I feel like we get them more exercise because we are forced to get off the boat.
This is our service panel. We have AC and 12-volt DC service, so we can keep an eye on voltage here. This is essentially the control panel of all appliances that we use, all outlets, all lighting, all equipment on the boat. There's 2 panels to access the engine room here. And there's 2 twin diesels. They're Marinized Ford engines known as Lehman's, 135 horsepower each. They do require annual maintenance. These are the original motors, so they've been operating extremely well. Not the most room in engine room, but also I've been in quite a few much tighter spaces as well. So do spend quite a bit of time in here, unfortunately. It is a boat from 1985, so it does take some work, a lot of ongoing maintenance, but you know, that's been part of the fun, part of the journey on Codspeed.
Here is the inside of Codspeed. As you can see, it's filled with beautiful teak wood, which we absolutely love, and I feel like it actually made it a lot easier to decorate just because it's so cozy and warm and has kind of almost this vintage vibe since it is a 1985 boat. The square footage is probably roughly around 350 square feet. Every nook and cranny serves a purpose on a boat, so even though it sounds really small, I feel like this type of space seems bigger than it is because it is designed so well for small space living. And so as you can see, we don't have any overhead lights, so I have, you know, put in some string lights. We obviously have a ton of plants in here, and we do take them down when we're out boating, but I just love how much color they bring into the space when we are at home and just hanging out. We have these extra stairs that lead out to the aft deck, and it's nice in the summertime when we have guests over to just kind of keep that open, or when we're cruising. And it actually makes it safer too when we are cruising, because instead of having to walk on the sides of the boat, people can just get in and out from these stairs without having to risk falling overboard. In the winter, you know, in Seattle, it does get relatively cold, so we do have a diesel heater. So all we have to do is hit that button. It is a touch screen, which is nice. We did replace this recently, and that will kick on the diesel heat, and then we can control the temperature. And then the diesel heat comes out of these little holes. So there's one, and then there's some in the, you know, different parts of the boat. Then we have a built-in L-shaped couch, which has extra storage underneath, and that's where we actually store all of our shoes, our hiking boots, our ski boots, just all the extra shoes we have, because my boyfriend is addicted to shoes. And so there's actually 3 of these compartments under this couch. We have, you know, huge windows here in the front. They bring in a lot of natural light, but they do get really warm in the summer, so we will sometimes cover it with a canvas if it's really hot out. And so then I'll show you guys the galley / kitchen, so you can follow me. So now we're down into the galley, and we pretty much have a full kitchen in here. Here's our fridge. It's not necessarily a full-size fridge, but it's not a mini fridge, so we can actually get a lot of food in there. And then here is our oven and our stove. This is propane, so we have to turn the propane on with this little button, and then, you know, start the stove up. It's a pretty decent sized oven. We can pretty much fit like a whole casserole pan in there. This is just peel and stick tile that I did a few years ago. It's lasted, you know, a really long time. Even with the Instant Pot, you know, letting out steam, hasn't peeled at all. Lots of storage in this kitchen too. We have all of our spices in here, you know, lots of sauces. I do a lot of cooking. I actually have a little vegan cooking channel, Vegan of the Sea, on Instagram, and I do tons of cooking, so you guys can always see the meals that you can cook on a boat, because you can actually cook pretty much everything, you know, you could imagine. 2 of us can't be down here at one time, but I have a lot of fun, and it hasn't stopped me from being able to cook huge, delicious meals for friends and family. We also have some extra storage underneath our dish rack. And then in this door, we have all of our storage space. This is where we keep all of our cooking supplies, you know, our Instant Pot, our blender. So everything that's kind of something we, you know, don't want out and about, we put it in this V-berth. And so that's technically a spare bedroom, but we use it as storage. And so now I'll show you the forward head / bathroom. Typical bathroom. We did replace this faucet a few years ago, so it's more aesthetically pleasing. We have a vacuum flush toilet, so that is pumped down into a waste tank that's actually underneath the galley, and then we pump it out maybe every week. This is actually our second shower that we have on the boat. We have another one in the bedroom, but we use this one for extra storage. So this is where we store our garbage cans, our recycling, and then this is where we store our dehumidifier. We have to have a huge dehumidifier because moisture on the boat is a thing. When we first got it, we didn't have one of these, and we would wake up getting dripped on when we were sleeping because the moisture, the condensation just got so bad on the boat. Towels wouldn't dry out, so a dehumidifier is a must. I think this is probably about 2.5 to 3.5 gallons, and we fill that up probably within a day during certain times of the year. Like winter, there's a lot of extra moisture, so definitely dehumidifier is important. So now we can go from the forward head to the aft stateroom, which is also our bedroom. The aft stateroom is actually relatively large. So this is a queen size bed, so we sleep down here really comfortably. My boyfriend's 6'3", and he can stand up in here without hitting his head. And so then we actually also have this hatch that you can open up that leads out to the aft deck. And you know, it took a second to get used to when we first moved onto the boat, just because we wake up to sunlight hitting us in the face, but now it doesn't really bug us. All of our water is stored under the bed. It weighs about a ton when it's full, so obviously it needs to be centered on the boat and low on the boat. We don't really rock too much, if anything. We just kind of feel like we sway a bit. You know, this boat has been designed to really take big waves. We don't experience much rocking. Tons and tons of storage space here. Ryan actually only keeps all of his books that he can't part with up in here, and then all of his clothing over here. The closet is actually also where he stores all of his items that he likes to be hung up, and then I have my rack, or my clothing rack that I purchased, so I have extra storage space for my clothing. So over here we have our aft head, which is also known as the bathroom. It's nice having 2 bathrooms, especially if we have guests over, because when we do have guests over, we usually blow up an air mattress for them and it takes up our whole living room. So it's kind of nice not having to walk over people, you know, to get to the bathroom. So it is really awesome having 2 bathrooms in here. And then on the other side of the bedroom is our shower. And this is our second shower that we have on the boat, which is nice, again, to have 2 showers. And it's about the same size as our other one. And there is a window that we always keep cracked open to air it out when, you know, we're done showering, just so it helps take care of the moisture in there. Also a very comfortable shower. Ryan can stand up completely in there, and then we just always make sure to, you know, turn the water off when we're not needing it, and then it suds up, and then turn it back on when we do rinse off, just to preserve water. So I think that this is my favorite room in the boat, just the vibes. It's just really nice and cozy. It kind of almost has kind of a vintagey vibe in here, but it's still very colorful and kind of global feeling.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more tours of floating homes or boat homes, make sure that you check out the link in the description, and I will see you soon with another unique home tour.